This is Tanveer Mohammed Masood, and in this part of this very short video, I would try to explain the nitty-gritties of one of the most important and most upgraded technological software that we have in our IT industry these days. It's basically called SAP, System Application Product on Data Processing. It's basically and popularly called. Now, SAP or ERP, we call it, Enterprise Resource Planning, is basically the integration of all the important data in a centralized way, so that each and every entity which is basically engaged in a business can access all the important data and all the important information in a more systematic way without any wastage of time. It basically helps in centralization and integration of information, data, and other related aspects of an entity of a business that basically helps to carry out the day-to-day activities and meet the daily affairs of the business in a systematic way. There are different modules and functional units of SAP. It's basically are of different softwares within it, and the first and foremost important software is that of finance, and we call it FICO at times. Finance module is one of the most important, most upgraded module of ERP, and it basically helps in integrating all the financial data in one centralized software, in one centralized point, wherein each and every entity, each and every finance official who is basically engaged, or rather who is basically responsible for carrying out the financial functions of the company, or can access the data from their own system without getting to move from one desk to another desk, or without getting to call up any other financial personnel. For instance, a chartered accountant who is basically preparing a balance sheet for a particular financial year, and at the end of the year he has done all the formalities as to the preparation of a profit and loss account as well as the balance sheet for the financial year. And what he does is that he upgrades and updates that balance sheet and the financial data in FICO, in the finance module, and it's basically a software wherein he updates all the important data relating to the assets and liabilities of the company, and he feeds that information in a centralized software. And what actually happens as a result of that, any other finance officer or any other finance executive or personnel who basically wants to have a little look as to what were the basically the status of the assets and what were the liabilities of the company, he can indeed access it by way of logging into his account, and once he or she logs into his or her account, he or rather she would be able to access that balance sheet or that number or particular of assets and liabilities of the company. For instance, the CA has prepared the balance sheet, and now the CFO, the finance officer, wants to have a look as to what were the fictitious liabilities of the business, and if at all those fictitious liabilities have been materialized or not. He would do so by logging into his account, and once he logs into his account, he needs to put in the